Wild valley braid like this one are especially timid and can therefore be quick to lash out.
Look at this little guy, just being a happy little bouncing alpaca. Hello friends, this is Coldrun. Welcome back to a blind playthrough of Final Fantasy XIV's Dawntrail expansion. We're ready to continue with the main story quest to the next fork in the trail. Branch in the tree? To Urqopacha. Approachable Pelu, let's have it. Urqopacha, look at that alpaca. The approachable Pelu is awaiting your questions. I've been waiting for what feels like days and eating enough of Urqevu's tacos to feed an army. What is it you'd like to know? What is it I'd like to know? The state of the road ahead. As I recall, to reach Urqopacha, we depart from the Arch of Dawn, then take the road west at the first fork. Should we be wary of anything along the way? Well, that is indeed the way to Urqopacha. After the damage wrought by the recent downpour, however, you'll be doing more stumbling than walking. But do take heart. When it comes to rugged terrain, we have a most dependable solution available. Come with me. Are we going by balloon? No. I know exactly where that quest marker is, and its name is Alpaca. May I introduce you to our most dependable companion, the alpaca. Look at its little face. Yeah, I'm with you, Kryle. Is she, like, disgusted by it? These animals can traverse Urqopacha's steep mountain trails as if they were gentle fields, all while carrying heavy loads. Our merchants would be lost without them. So they fill much the same niche as our chocobos back home. You don't have alpacas in Eorzea? Alpacas are native to Yggdrasil. Eorzea has its chocobos and the eastern lands have their horses. Why go to the trouble of breeding from another pack beast in a place which ill suits its qualities, and where it is not needed anyway? But must we ride these little monsters? What do you have against them? When I was small and being a bit naughty, I went around pulling on their wool. One of them spat on me, and it was the foulest stench you can imagine. Is that true? I know that llamas spit. I guess alpacas probably do too, but does the spit smell? I see. What do they like to ride? Alpacas bred as mounts are inquisitive and docile. Even those without experience find them easy to handle. Yeah, but you got the childhood... that's the face of childhood trauma there, Wooklamat. So, was my information useful to you? Yes, very helpful, even if it wasn't what I wanted to hear. Good, I'll take my payment now. You want me to pay you? Why? Why is that a problem? Guess I should have expected as much from a Pelu merchant. Let me see what I have on me. Why is she being all weird about that? I mean, do they have the reputation of being like, who were the catfish? Namazu? Like that sort of thing? Or goblins? The Pelupelu value the act of spreading joy through trade, as you should know. They take pride in making deals that benefit both parties. So kind of okay. So kind of like the Fae, but less out of, like more for the joy of it rather than out of, like, almost physical need. Here you go. A fair price for your fair advice. Yes, I made a trade with the third promise herself. My friends will never believe this. I shall be on my way now. I wish you safe travels. So, is this supposed to be a Pelu adult? And why do they have Donald Duck masks? I guess those are like brims, visors to keep the sun out. Its little ears wiggling. It better not get spit on again. It's gonna happen. You'll be fine. You brought that on yourself. Remain calm and gentle, and so will they. I'm still not happy about this. But if we need to ride alpacas to reach Urqopacha, then that's what we'll do. Determination in the face of alpaca spit. Or really in the face of the fear of alpaca spit. Ooh, snow.
Turali poets of yore sang of a mountain that would stand tall, even should all other lands sink beneath the sea. Indomitable and eternal, it arises from Urqopacha, the 100 peaks of time.
The 100 Peaks of Time, that's a badass name.
All the beasts which crawl and fly, only the legendary Garlemald could hope to disturb the summit's serene majesty.
Does that mean that it's
Yet,
up there?
with that
Or
flying calamity imprisoned by the Dawn Servant, what great feat remains for those who would claim the throne?
So it's like that's where it would go normally, but it's not there right now. Or where it could go normally? Maybe that's its normal haunt, and it like hunts from above.
So this is Urqopacha. I've never actually been here before.
Interesting combo. You got cactuses in like the foothills of the mountains. Are there cactuses in? I guess two questions. One is, are there cacti in South America? And two is, are there cacti in like near the base of the Andes anywhere? This is also like, could be like the American West too, like by the Rockies.
The air is so crisp and clear. Mountains everywhere you look.
I currently live in Minnesota, and that is very far from like mountains.
That one massive peak in particular has quite the presence. It puts me in mind of Zoraal.
Does.
That is Urqopacha, the tallest mountain in Urqopacha.
Urqopacha.
Its sheer height makes it an imposing climb. But there are other reasons the ambitious keep their distance.
Really? Even with Garlemald not in the picture right now?
Oh? Do tell.
Where to begin?
Excuse me, but you're Urqopacha, are you not? I hadn't thought to encounter one of the Dawn's promise here of all places.
Is this a rabbit person? No, Hrothgar. What flowing hair this Hrothgar has. What majestic hair.
But I should introduce myself. I am Bolnok, a weaver by trade.
He does have the glottal stop at the end.
Well met, Bolnok. We're on our way to Pelupelu.
I'm not really going to be able to do that. I
Truly.
apologize.
I've just come from there, as it happens. I'd asked the Pelupelu who sell me their wool to give me a tour of their alpaca ranch.
And I thought of the Andes rather than the Rockies initially, just because of like the clothing style we're seeing here, like that sort of vibe. Feels like it likely fits more with South America, or I'm sure there are mountain ranges like in Mexico and Central America, but that's what put me in mind of the Andes rather than the Rockies.
The head rancher and I shared a bottle of mezcal while he explained the finer points of wool production.
I know mezcal's an alcohol, but I've never had it. And I don't know what it's like.
Mezcal, is that a local beverage?
And I think isn't it Mexican, or I could be wrong.
It's an Urqopacha specialty, a spirit made from distilled agave heart juice.
I actually wouldn't be surprised if that's what actual real life mezcal is from.
Yes, and it must have done wonders for my mood, for I tripled my usual order of alpaca wool. They did offer me a discount, though, so it wasn't a bad deal in the end. But listen to me, boring you with my tedious stories. I will leave you before you are lulled to sleep. Goodbye, and safe travels.
See you, Bolnok.
Oh, silly me. I almost forgot to say the thing I actually wanted to say. Peace for Zoraal. I agree with your vision, Third Promise. You have my support in your bid for the throne.
Oh, heck yeah. And that makes sense. I think the traders
I
will...
gather from his tale we would be foolish to underestimate Pelupelu merchants.
I think just in general, traders will be more likely to want peace. Though maybe that's not fair. I know that weapons and arms dealers are traders and they don't necessarily love peace.
Yes, they do more than run the markets in Tuliyollal. Pelupelu peddlers can be found everywhere in Tural, traveling from place to place on their sturdy alpacas. They are effusive and engaging speakers, and many's the customer who's been talked into spending more than they bargained for.
Seductive with their tongues. Not like that. Well, I don't know if like that, but probably not like that.
Easily charmed.
You're Urqopacha, you have many good qualities, but look, and frankly, your gullibility is one of those good qualities, but boy, is that a quality you have.
Watchun Pelo's down the path, off the main road. Don't get lost.
It's right there.
Urqopacha is absolutely the person who says they're going to take a shortcut, and then like 20 minutes later, they're fighting off bears in the woods. This is it, Watchun Pelo, the home of the Pelupelu. Urqopacha should have arrived before us. And yet, did she do the shortcut thing? Nope, she's there. She's actually there. It was like 5 steps from where we were. That's not good. Is she getting seduced by a merchant? Amiable Pelu, you've come all this way for the right of succession. Oh, so this means I'm exchanging words with the future Dawn servant. Please, the outcome is far from decided, but it is a possibility. How fortunate, then, that I deal in cloaks woven from especially luxurious alpaca wool. Such a garment would look magnificent when draped over the shoulders of our budding ruler. This is the look of a happy merchant that knows they're about to get one over bigly. And the nation's ruler should dress her best for her adoring people, yes? Finery for our finest lady, that's right. Come, third promise, my well-stocked shelves are but a few steps away. The finest lady, I like the sound of that. All right, I suppose a quick look wouldn't hurt. Okay, we got, yeah. Who's worse with money, Estinian or Urqopacha? Put your thoughts in the comments below. What did we just talk about? Erenville, when did you... We were like 4 steps behind you, Wook. Ah, Shatona from far off Shaktural. Northern winters are bitterly cold affairs, I'm told. I cannot imagine how you survived them without a lovely warm cloak of quality alpaca wool. No, thank you. I am not in need of new clothes at the moment, and neither is the third promise. Perhaps another time. Of course! My shop door is always open. Yeah, especially for Wook. Yeah, Pelupelu probably, like, fantasizes about customers as gullible as Wook. You were saying something about not being easily charmed? I was just... As I mentioned previously, the Pelu people live for bringing happiness through trade. They won't cheat you or sell you defective goods. They won't cheat you, but they will try to get probably as much money as they can out of you, even if it's not in your best interest to spend all that much. Like, they'll sell you as much delicious steak dinner as they can. It'll be good quality steak, even if your budget only allots for like the dollar menu. They will, however, disarm you with their deft turns of phrase, and unwitting customers like Urqopacha fall prey to this affable approach time and again. Look at her in the background. She's all like, oh, poor Wook. Your only recourse is a clear and firm refusal. They won't pursue the matter should you make your disinterest plain. They are far... Okay, they are... I apologize for comparing them to the Namazu. They are infinitely better. A valuable insight into the minds of the Pelupelu. Let us all take Erenville's words of caution to heart. the crossed arms and firm yeses from Alisaie and Kokushu here. Traders of Happiness. Urqopacha is ready to search out the Dawn Servant's electors. Not my finest moment, I'll admit, but now that we're here, let's do what we came to do. Find the elector. Allow me to propose a strategy then. Friar Alisaie and I will speak with the merchants. Urqopacha, you and Erenville might try approaching travelers and passers-by. Sorry about that. I was getting literally catcalled. Should we learn aught of use, let us relay it to the third promise. Distillery worker. The Dawn Servant's elector? I thought you were a new face in town. Here for the right of succession, I take it? Oh no, I thought you were a new face in town. Okay. Me, I don't much care who sits the throne as long as they keep Tural peaceful. Then you should care who sits the throne. People tend not to be in the mood to relax and sip our excellent mezcal once arrows and spears start flying, if you know what I mean. That's right, so these are not arms dealers generally. They're like luxury goods and drinks and food and yeah. Speaking of which, would you like a cup? A joy shared is a joy doubled, I say. I find that actually to be one of the hallmarks of why Let's Plays are so good. Of why I personally enjoy Let's Plays, watching Let's Plays and making Let's Plays so much. It's a chance to like seeing someone else take joy in something that brought me joy doubles my own joy. I get to re-experience it. I get to yes, I like the Pelupelu. Oh right, you were asking about that elector business. Being but freshly returned from my trading route, I've heard that there's a contest afoot, but not much else. Our head ledger, Tobli. Why is the name Tobli familiar? Was that used in prior Final Fantasies? It's very familiar. Could probably tell you more about it. Our head ledger. Impatient Porter. Electors. Oh yes, I've heard about the right of succession. They're looking for a new ruler on the throne, eh? Personally, I'm rooting for Zoraal Ja. Why? If the first promise wins, he'll look to expand our sphere of influence. Of course. I don't know why I didn't think of this. Like, peace is good, but expanding your empire, expanding the regions where you can trade, sphere of influence, that's... I mean, how many... When you look at, like, the age of exploration, the age of conquest, for instance, how many colonies were set up specifically to improve a company's, like, a specific corporation or company's sphere of influence? In the thousands column, potentially. So many new trading opportunities to spread happiness far and wide. Others have been coming around to my way of thinking, so I've begun crafting goods inspired by the resilient sun. Would you care to purchase something? No, I would not. Yes, I would. Well, I don't want to purchase it. I don't want to fund Zoraal Ja's campaign, but I'm interested in what we're selling. Yeah, just answer my question. Oh, very well. You said that you wanted to know about the elector? I mean, I could help you, but yeah, I won't. I can tell you're no supporter of Zoraal Ja or his policies. That's fair. Yavli? This here is the family ranch where we raise alpaca. Their fluffy fleece, wiggly ears, and curious capriciousness are just the best, aren't they? Damn straight. The family ranch. Hello there, I'm Mablu. Did you have a question for me? Yeah, my question is, why is my face so itchy? It's just because I have cat fur all over it now. Sorry, I don't know about any electors. You should take a moment to see our prized alpacas, though, before you leave. Please tell me an alpaca is the elector. Oh, but be sure to admire them from a respectful distance. Get too close, and our nervous darlings may be tempted to spit on you, and that stuff stinks. It happened to a visiting buyer not so long ago. Tobli, that's the head rancher, was so mad at me for not giving a proper warning. God, I really want to just Google Tobli, but I'm afraid it'll spoil stuff from this game. He's got to have been a character from 10 or 10-2 or something like that. No one makes a mistake without Tobli noticing. He notices everything that happens on this ranch. Perfect. Look at these beauties. Urqopacha, you really have to watch yourself around these silver-tongued peddlers. I almost bought a bottle of mezcal and a stack of blankets, and then there was this enchanting ornament. Anyway, I did manage to learn that Tobli is the man to talk to about their... Was Tobli the one who was the shoe puff guy? Anyway, man to talk to about their contest. Now, if only they'd share this, where this head ledger of theirs is to be found. Really, he's also the head rancher. Oh, the alpaca ranch is not far from here. I say we pay it a visit before the others return. Like, just to show that you're doing well, show that you're solving the puzzles. Look at them all. Just fluffy little spitters. Oh, that's a lot of alpacas. Still, we know the head ledger could be here somewhere. I can't let fear deter me. Not that I'm scared, of course. The only time you can be brave is when you're afraid. Excuse me, is one of these workers Tobli? Tobli? Yeah, he likes to mingle with the ranch hands and keep an eye on things. I can't tell you which one he is, though. You can't? Is this part of the contest? All I can say is that Tobli often mentions his favorite pungent subject. He also can't resist a profitable trade, though who among us could, am I right? Still, if you bring him a very good deal, he might let his identity slip. So it's like a game. Easy enough. All I have to do is offer Tobli a deal he can't ignore. No problem at all. Well, maybe one problem. I don't think my purse is deep enough to pay everyone we think might be Tobli. Let's ask some questions first to narrow down the field. That is an interesting opening puzzle. Opening salvo from the elector. Alright, Mablu. Huh, well, obviously I'm not Tobli. I mean, I shouldn't have said that. You're meant to find out for yourself who Tobli is, or if an elector is even in the village at all. Good luck. Ah, a visitor from a diligent ranch hand. A visitor from across the salt, if I'm not mistaken. Be warned, the alpacas will spit if you startle them. I suggest you keep your movements deliberate and slow. Didn't really help me about finding out whether you're not your Mablu or Tobli. Boastful ranch hand. You think I might be Tobli? Well, maybe I am. All I'll say is in this village, none have reared more alpacas than I. Am I Tobli? Yep, that's me. Excellent work from the third promise and her entourage. Sharp instincts. Commence the rite of succession then? Yeah, so you're 100% not it. What did the third person say? Or the second person? They were just warning us about the alpacas. I see we're both done with our interrogations. So who do you think it is? I have my suspicions, but let's hear your pick. I have no friggin' clue. I think the diligent ranch hand. I don't think it's either any of these, but personally. Ah, so the worker is so intent on stable chores. I had my eye on that one too. Time to rip off the mask of our mystery ranch hand, so to speak. I think we're wrong. I don't think it's any of these three. We know it's you, Tobli, and to prove it, I propose a deal. A generous sum of coin for confirmation of your true identity. An offer I gladly accept. Oh, I was right. As you've correctly guessed, I am indeed Tobli, head ledger of Urqopacha and head rancher of the family ranch. I am also one of Zoraal Ja's chosen electors. I also just assumed it because it wasn't the boastful one. And it was just process of elimination more than anything else. Clearly it wasn't the nonchalant one either. Aha! In a place featured in the Tuliyollal saga, just as we thought. I was right to trust your instincts, and I wager this won't be the last time. How does she act if you just screw it all up and get it all wrong multiple times? She found you out fair and square, Tobli. I'm glad she did. Would have been a pity had her bid ended here.
Deducing the Dawnservant's elector was the first step of the feat. Too simple a task for this aspiring ruler, eh?
That is some voice.
Right. Not hard at all.
Is this,
Zoraal Ja.
Zoraal Ja, that was it. He is looking fancy with his headdress and everything.
Tobli is to be found here.
You have to guess which one of us is Tobli. That's part of the test.
Yeah, but that's really poorly set up then, because they see me clearly talking to the red-clad one. I guess there's a lot of red-clad ones.
You're Tobli.
What? How did you...
Without even asking a single question. Very impressive indeed.
Did that other one signal? Were they like... And I just missed it?
Without
I don't think so.
amusing prologue out of the way, we can proceed to the actual challenge.
How did he figure it out?
Per the Dawn Servant's instructions, I was free to devise any manner of feat. I considered the number of possibilities in the 10th column. But I think I have a good one. You must go forth and capture for me an alpaca.
Is it going to be the alpaca with like the stinkiest spit in the entire world or something? Like an alpaca with like a golden coat or something like that?
While I've not had the best experiences with alpacas, aren't they generally docile creatures? That doesn't sound like much of a challenge.
Bring out the example!
Excuse me, late at night and long day. So pretty.
This is a special kind of alpaca. Would you please approach the animal?
No, don't make her... Okay.
Who? Me? Well, it should stay calm if I stay calm, right? That's what Erinville said.
Maybe it knows I killed its friends out in the field just for a couple of sacks of nuts. And it's ready to exact vengeance.
Ah! The little monster spat on me! Ah, oh, that stinks. I can't...
I was afraid they're going to make her vomit. Or cough up a hairball? Do cat? No, but of course cats vomit.
Alpacas are paradoxical.
Boy, did they vomit.
Creatures, being both extremely curious and extremely cowardly.
Much like
Press your
myself.
luck when they're frightened, and you'll get a face full of spit. As you've all just witnessed.
But still, that's not, like... That makes them gross to wrangle, but not hard to wrangle.
There's an awful stench, their expectoration. The globs contain half-digested food, you see, making it an effective deterrent against perceived threats.
Wild valley braid like this one are especially timid and can therefore be quick to lash out.
Look at this little guy, just being a happy little bouncing alpaca. I mean, probably actually a frightened bouncing little
They're
alpaca.
also especially hardy.
Indeed. We take the rugged wild alpacas and breed them with our gentle domesticated stock. This produces the strong but biddable pack animals prized by our traveling merchants.
That's all well and good, but did I need to bathe an alpaca spit for you to make your point?
Seriously.
So, the task is to catch a wild alpaca.
That is correct. But be warned that it is a feat easier said than done.
Excuse me.
I suggest you prepare well before you enter the valley where the creatures dwell. And by you, I mean the claimants only. Allies are not permitted to assist with the catching.
Interesting.
The
I mean, it makes
alpacas
sense.
will help me judge which of you is worthy of receiving a keystone.
So I'm to chase down a fluffy, spitting demon, and that somehow proves I'm fit to rule?
So, the prior task was all about understanding the culture and the land and the problem, like the full scope of the problem. So maybe you have to learn more about, like, their value and what makes, like, because I don't think it's just about capturing it. It's about...
As I said, the Dawn Servant granted me the freedom to decide my challenge. And when you reach the end of the rite, I dare say you will understand why I chose what I chose.
Very interesting. I don't know where they're going with this, but I'm intrigued. I have a loose idea. Something about the challenge is going...
This won't take long.
Something about accomplishing the challenge is going to reveal...
Wait!
More about, like, the
Didn't I warn you
culture.
this was easier said than done? There are preparations to be made, factors to consider.
A beast is a beast. All yield to strength.
Yeah, that's your philosophy.
So far, this experience has done absolutely nothing to improve my opinion of alpacas. But that doesn't mean I can't do this. Revolting spit aside, they're just another animal.
They're not. They're probably a lot more than that to the Pelupelu. I would trust the elector that this is not... I don't think it's just about who comes in first either, is it?
Are you all right, Urqopacha? We thought we heard you scream.
The
This isn't a
third
race.
promise does not scream. It was more of a startled yelp.
I love the
Scream,
voice
in
acting
other
on that
words.
line.
Did you find the elector?
Oh, we certainly did.
Alisaie. Zoraal Ja puts me in mind of Garlemald's own exalted son. Of the two, though, Xenos was undeniably more arrogant. We've only just met Zoraal Ja, but I tend to agree with you on both fronts. That is a great and really interesting comparison to Xenos. I had to go and wash all that nasty stuff off my face. I think I got all of it. But would you mind taking a sniff for me, just to make sure? The stench has ruined my sense of smell. You want me to smell your face? Okay. Hey, I saw that look. There, I have smelled her face. I have smelled Urqopacha's face. Feet of Gold. Erenville wishes to discuss the Feet of Gold. As Urqopacha helped demonstrate, the Valley Alpaca are wary of people. Getting close enough to catch one will not be an easy task. You might have warned me about that earlier. I have enough trouble with tame alpacas. How do you expect me to wrangle a wild one? Look at it wiggling its little ears. Tobly. With the proper saddle, we infuse the leather with a relaxing scent that soothes the spitting beast. I've tried that with my cat. Like, not the saddle. I don't saddle my cat up and ride him. He's a little small, but I put one of those scent things in the wall, and hopefully it helps. Wonderful. Give me one of those then. Have you perhaps forgotten we are a clan of merchants? If you want a taming saddle, you'll need to find a saddler and make him an offer. They don't come cheap, of course. Crafting a saddle will cost you in the equivalent of 10 in the thousands column. 10 pel in the 10,000. I don't. The thing is, I don't know if he. Oh, 10 pel in the I wasn't sure if he was stopping like 10 Pelupelu coins, but like as if he was trying to scam us. But they're not really scammers. We learned. Yeah. So 10,000 pel. You meant 10,000 pel? I don't have that kind of coin. I do. I got your back. Converting to gil, that comes... Oh. Well, never mind. That comes to around 1 million or so. Mayhap if we all pitch in. I mean, I have 6 million, but, like, I wouldn't spend 1 million for this. Yes, I would. I absolutely would. No, this is my feat to accomplish. I wouldn't feel right about having others pay the cost. I'll find the money, somehow. Well, in that case... Just giving me the saddle? Giving her the saddle? Oh, no. That basket of wool is worth the sum you paid me earlier. 1 pel in the hundreds column. What an interesting little linguistic tick they gave them. 1 pel in the hundreds column. Beginning with the wool, you can trade for ever more valuable goods until you have something suitable to bargain with for the saddle. This is like where someone starts with a bobby pin and they eventually keep trading it until they buy a house, right? That's a nice gesture, but you think I could turn 100 pel into 1 million? That's 10,000 times more. I mean, if you want to prove yourselves to the Pelupelu, that's probably a great way to do it. But yeah, it's not 1 million times more. We need 10,000 pel, not 1 million, so we're looking at 100 times more. Oh, right. I panicked and got it confused with Alphino's million gil. You're not going to win the Pelupelu's respect that way. They respect math and finance. I'm not so sure about this trading idea. You were almost talked into buying a cloak you didn't need mere moments after you arrived. But I hate it when you're right. Well, then let me help you with your deal making. Mablu, do we have to pay you for your help? Oh, hello again. Mablu here. I work as a ranch hand, but I've also learned a lot about the peddler profession. It's all right if I aid them now, yes? I guided the claimants towards the first step of the feat, like you asked. As long as Urqopacha goes alone to capture her alpaca, she's free to accept assistance from whomever she likes. Hooray! Let's see about you getting you that saddle then, Third Promise. I don't know why you made your offer, but I could use an ally with a beak for bargains. Welcome aboard, Mablu. Well, the rest of us stay behind. Should the rest of us stay behind, perhaps? It may be easier to haggle over prices without so many voices chiming in. It's probably true. Yeah, stay here and pitch in with the ranch work. With Mablu gone, I'll need extra hands to tend to the alpacas. Gladly, although Kakushu, I think you should go with Urqopacha. You've seen markets and bazaars the world over. Surely have sage advice to share? Yeah, stay away from Estinian. In that case, you should also hold on to the alpaca wool. If it's misplaced or soiled in some way, you'll have nothing to bargain with. Yeah, I got the money though. I could just give it to you. As if I'd do such a thing, but I'll leave the wool with Kakushu anyway. The better to keep my hands free. You don't want... Because I don't know if Zoraal Ja is the type to just swipe your stuff from you. Like, he's clearly an imperialist, so he probably is. To begin, I suggest we try trading the wool to Havli, the saddler. He won't agree to the deal, of course, but it'll give us an idea of how much he'll accept for his wares. So start with something that's almost insultingly low just to see how much they want it, how much they actually want. I am a very poor haggler, so I don't know if that's the strategy or what. Or if you probably want to start with something at least in the ballpark. But again, I am not a haggler. I don't know if that's the way. I'm not from a... Like, I didn't grow up in Fleet going to, like, markets and bargaining and that sort of thing. Havli. Havli any wool? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 1 bag full. Something I could do for you. Havli, we've come to bargain. I need one of your special taming saddles to catch a wild alpaca. Havli, a saddle, is it? And how will you be paying for it? With this basket of fine alpaca wool. The disgust. What use does a saddle maker have for wool? Besides, this would barely cover the cost of a single strap buckle. Offer me something I actually want. So this was really an icebreaker more than anything else, rather than an opening bid. And what might that be? Mezcal. Oh, I like to nurse a cup at day's end while I inspect my finished work. Bring me a jug of quality stuff and you got yourself a deal. Is it mezcal or mezcal? I'm looking this up. Alright, I've seen a few different things. It looks like most people pronounce it mezcal. Okay, this bodes well for us, Third Promise. Such mezcal can be had for only 5 pel in the thousands column. So, again, they're big at being merchants, but not necessarily, they don't necessarily need the profit, I guess. So it is more of a cultural thing. They don't, because if it were purely about the profit, they would just get like 10,000 pel, pay someone for and then pay 5,000 pel for the mezcal, and then still have 5,000 left over. But it's really about the culture rather than earning money. Hold on. Did you say Third Promise? Then my offer has changed. That saddle is going to cost you a jug of premium mezcal, aged 3 years at least. Is it because... Yeah, why did they double the price? They have to have doubled it because they know that we need this saddle for this task. And so they know it's not just a nice to have. It's like something we're willing to pay a premium for. Because I support the man... Oh, never mind. I was wrong. I support the man of ambition who will see my business prosper. Zoraal Ja will go to war and his cavalry will need saddles. Lots of saddles. Nothing personal, Third Promise, but I won't sell you my craft for anything less than my asking price. Yeah, that makes sense. I think it's bad, but I can understand it. It makes sense. I can't say that I blame him. I'm known for championing peace, and peace is unlikely to bring him more customers. Mablu, those of our grandparents' generation remember the dark days when the clans were at war. Many of these Pelu pray for your victory, Urqopacha. The younger ones, though, to them, strife and bloodshed are as children's stories. They think themselves safe from the horrors and take the peace we now enjoy for granted. Still others are unsatisfied with this quiet prosperity and crave the future the Second Promise envisions. They've become obsessed with innovations like the dirigibles that have made trade swift and easy. And so they think, I guess, that conquering places will... Oh no, the Second Promise is Kona. Yeah. Then you have those like Havli, convinced that the First Promise's plans for conquest will afford them opportunities for great profit. And no one gives a crap about the two-headed dude. Like, he doesn't seem to have any platform beyond being the villain. I'm trying to remember his name. It's slipping I'm slipping my head, but I know the guy. I just can't remember his name right now. But what about you, Mablu? Aren't you of the younger generation? At least a year or two younger than me, I'd say. That's true. Oh, I was raised on the old tales. I've memorized the accounts of what it was like when the Yokwe ruled our village. That's why I offered to help. I want you to become Dawn Servant, to keep our nation from going back to the way it was. Well then, I guess I'd better make sure to win the contest. But I need the type of mezcal the saddle maker wants is very expensive. Weren't we just expecting to need 10,000 pel from the outset? Nothing's changed, we just need to get on with it. I may not have a head for trade or a stomach for alpacas, but I won't give up the piece of Tulihiolal I won't give up with the piece of Tulihiolal on the line. And it's very understandable why both the reasons they gave about why people are interested in Kona or Zoraal Ja even. Well, Kona especially, but no, both of them. The reasons she gave about why people are interested in both are eminently understandable. And I like that. I like that it's not just the evil people go to Slytherin. Like, this is... It's believable that there are non-evil people that I think are still wrong here, that could be, like, led down by this imperialist path, especially if they don't have recent experience with war. And neither will I. We will make you Dawn Servant. Aiming for that 10,000 pel jug right away will only bring us failure and frustration, so let's first try exchanging the wool for anything even a touch more valuable. The trick is to find someone who needs alpaca wool and is willing to trade for at a loss to acquire it. Someone who supports your bid for the throne, for instance. Oh, right, Catboy. I have to be more specific in this game, but that guy. I haven't played in a few days, probably a 4 or 5 days, just because work's been chaotic as heck, and I've been drained. Of course, the Weaver! Bolnock was his name. That's right, Bolnock. He agrees with the vision and was here to buy wool. Let's find him. Urqopacha. This is the spot. After Bolnock talked to us, he walked off to the south. Mablu. Then he was probably going to stay at Ikuvlo's inn. Most visitors to Huachin Pello end up staying there. Go and check, shall we? Ikuvlo. Ikuvlo. Ikuvlo's inn. New little town. I mean, I know it's not a town. I guess this is just a big courtyard all for the inn. It's just quite an inn. Can I have that basket, Kukushu? Yes. A basket of standard quality wool you received from Tobli, worth 1 pel in the hundreds column. Thanks. Now let's see if we can turn a profit. Bolnock, I'm glad we found you. Are you interested in making a trade? Third promise, you wish to do business with me, but might I ask what this is all about? Cat's wearing glasses. I see, so the goal is to turn that basket of wool into a jug of 3-year-old premium mezcal. Then allow me to invest in your efforts. He's bumped. Peace in Toral is what allows me to cross freely into the lands of my suppliers. Naturally, I'd prefer that one pledge to preserve that peace win the throne. Thus do I humbly offer you this wool poncho, a small token that I pray contributes to your victory. Oh, that's fine craftsmanship. A garment like that would easily fetch 5 pel in the hundreds column. So we've gone from 100 to 500, and we just have, what is it, 9,500 to go? Oh, that's very generous, Bolnock. Thank you. I promise I won't let you down. I have every faith in you, Third Promise. May fortune bless your future dealings. And I don't know if that's a poncho that he's wearing, but if it is, I love it. Can't believe you quintupled your investment from this your first deal. We're off to a spectacular start. Only because Kukusha remembered our weaver friend. All I did was hand over the wool. That's not true. The connections you build with people are vital. This is one of the most fundamental precepts of trading, one which you've instinctively mastered. You think so? I mean, she has... I don't know. You know what? I was about to contest that, to say, like, she just got lucky because we remembered it, but... Not that we remembered that, she just got lucky because her value, like her as the Dawn Servant, as the promise to be Dawn Servant, is inherently valuable. That's not like she mastered a skill or anything, but it really is a natural skill for her. I think she does bond with people very easily. Yeah, let's trade this. Let's trade up. All set. Our next deal is waiting to be found. Excellent trade. Alpaca. Look at this little animation. Huh. That's charming. So now we have... Oh, right. I don't have long for this to finish this off. Anyway. Wool poncho, a sturdy poncho you received in trade for a basket of alpaca wool. 5 pel in the hundredths column. Leveraging connections is a sound strategy, but we should also consider supply and demand. An individual in urgent need of a good poncho will offer more than a merchant's simply looking to stock his shelves. Yeah. So... you want to find someone cold, I guess. Well, that makes sense, but how do we know if someone needs a poncho? They have a fabulous sense of style. They aren't wearing one. I mean, you know what? If we're trying to be helpful, we're going to go with they aren't wearing one. But maybe that means they don't need one to begin with? I don't know. I don't know the answer. Oh, that's the obvious answer, isn't it? We look for a person without a poncho and hope they're eager to buy ours. Oh, yeah, find the demand for the supply. There are a number of places to look, but we could do worse than starting right here at the inn. There might be interested travelers. I mean, you could also look where the weather's about to turn. So if there's a place where people are about to ride up a mountain or something, or go into a cold area where they might not be prepared for it, then that's a good spot too. Who here needs a poncho? A lot of Mablu Ja hardly wear anything to begin with. Those are probably Landsguard or sellswords. Mablu Ja, who soldier for a living, prefer not to wear much above the waist. It hampers their movement. So even if they have bared shoulders, Mablu Ja carrying arms could be struck off the list. This first-person perspective that's always strange. Right, potential customer. Hard-bitten, it's kind of hard to see. Hard-bitten Hubigo. Resting Hubigo, you already have a poncho. Sweaty Dopro, you have a weapon, I think. Disconcerted Hubigo, it's really tough to see. Mablu. I think we could strike Mablu off the list, but I want to click her just to see what happens. Oh. Oh, never mind. I thought it was just going to be a joke answer. Yeah, professional fighters. Yeah. So, all right, not the hard-bitten Hubigo. Not the resting Hubigo. Not the sweaty Dopro. Maybe the disconcerted Hubigo? I didn't see arms from a distance. Let's see, no cloak or coat or cloak, but also no weapon. Oh, we might have a winner. Oh there, friend. You're not a mercenary by trade, right? I was curious about your bold choice of dress, or lack thereof. Oh, it was not mine, no choice of mine, believe me. I was attacked by beasts on the way here, and barely escaped with my scales intact. My coat was not so lucky. Perfect. I'm so delighted to hear that you were nearly killed. I'm actually a tool maker from Tuliholal. and was dressed quite smartly, all the better to show the Pelu I am a man who takes pride in his appearance, and therefore his work as well, but now look at me. Well, sir, this is your lucky day. Oh, what a splendid poncho. The perfect replacement for the coat I lost. I think you will enjoy it. Yeah, trade for one of your tools. What about this hatchet? I crafted it myself and will vouch for its quality. Mablu, I'm so glad Mablu's here. The blade looks sharp, the haft well made. I'd valued at 1 pel in the thousands column. Oh, from 500 to 1,000? We have a deal. Wonderful. A fine garment such as this should put me on even footing with any Pelu merchant. Like the eponymous owner of Miplu's Mate Garden, for one. Miplu's Mate Garden. Like a place where you farm mates. Is that what it actually is? Is this like Hubigo Tinder? Her field hands use hatchets to harvest the mate. Unless it's mate, and mate means something else. And I thought to impress her with the tool I sold you. Impress your mate with a good tool. No matter, I have other wares to sell. Glad am I to have met you. Poncho in peace, my friend. Did you hear that? We've already found our next buyer. To Miplu's Mate Garden we go. I'm just going to call it mate because they can't mean mate. We get to ride alpacas there. Well, get to is probably not the term that Lamont would use here. Oh, these ones will be the calm type, right? I mean, it'll probably be relatively calm. Excellent trade. We got a fine hatchet. 1,000 pel. Reminds me, I have to check my island sanctuary today. Well done recognizing that toolmaker as a potential customer. If you've mind to change professions, you'd make an excellent merchant. Thank you. Up. Mablu's dream. Urqopacha steels herself for the ride to find your next trading partner. Before we get moving, you should be the one to hold this. Oh, now you're going to give me the hatchet. With that, I suppose we should hop on the alpacas Mablu has so kindly provided. You poor thing. And I mean that sincerely. Like, that sucks to have to ride on an animal you're afraid of. Fine hatchet. A finely crafted hatchet you received in trade for a wool poncho. 1 pel in the thousands. Ready to go? Let's mount up. Begin the alpaca ride. Heck yeah. And so off to the mate fields we go. Chaba Yukek. Oh, don't spit, don't spit, don't spit. You'll be fine. These ones are accustomed to people. Yeah, that makes sense. I still don't trust them. Yeah, like, even if you have a bad experience with a dog, it doesn't matter. Like, if you know a dog is friendly. Without our alpaca friends, we Pelu would never have become traveling merchants. Can you imagine walking all the way across Zoraal? Where are we actually going? Like, to the southwest. I swear that mountain is too tall to be real. It's got to be a dungeon up there, right? Worker Zormor, wasn't that the name? Forbidding sight, one I've never appreciated up close. Maybe it'll just be where the trial against Garlemald eventually is. You have to take the long way around the cliffs to get there, to the highlands belonging to the Urqopacha. And the Urqopacha are hostile here, right? Like they were... Oh, so Mablu, you said you were learning about the peddler profession. You don't care for ranch work. I just see that wheel. No, I love it. I love working with alpacas. That, like, timer that shows when it's going away. Becoming a peddler was always a dream of mine. That's so cool. What a nice addition. It's just, I'm not sure I have the talent for it. If I can help you buy the taming saddle, though, then it'd be proof I can do this after all. In that case, get ready to be a merchant. Yeah, you can do this, Mablu. So this is a little nook to the west, just purely to the west. Miplu's Mate Garden. If it's just mate garden and they're just making like mates for people, I'm going to feel silly. We made it, and without a single smelly incident. I sent the alpacas back to Ikuvlo's Inn, so we'll walk along the main road when we return to the village. Now, speaking of roads to travel, you were adopted by the Dawn Servant, weren't you, Third Promise? That I was. Then perhaps you understand. I was an orphan too, you see. Tobley took me in. He took in all the ranch hands, actually. Really? Yes, and everyone works hard at their chores, grateful for the opportunity to repay the head ledger's generosity, yet here I am, the only one wanting to go off and be a merchant. Merchant's a respectable profession, though, at least in this culture. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm telling you this. We need to keep trading things for your saddle if you're to prepare for the feat of gold. As it's mate harvesting season, they can't have too many quality hatchets. Add that to Urqopacha's way with people, and we should have no trouble making a favorable deal. That's Mablu herself over there. That's the hatchet to the Third Promise, and let's get to bargaining. You're Mablu, the owner of these fields? I have a mind to trade if you're interested. Well, the Third Promise. I might be convinced to entertain a proposal. What do you have to have on offer? This hatchet, forged by a seasoned artisan, the razor edge of this exceptional tool will make light work of your crops. Huh, the quality's acceptable, I suppose. I offer you a large sack of mate leaves in exchange. A sack of mate leaves is valued at 1 pel in the thousands column, the same price as the hatchet. This deal would bring us no closer to the mezcal. If I may, Mistress Mablu, it's harvesting season, is it not? Does not the demand for hatchets afford them a higher value? Well, it is indeed the season, which is why I procured an ample batch of tools well in advance. Oh, we missed the window for demand. Now we have to fall back on connections. Well, think of it this way. A generous deal here will put you in the Third Promise's good graces. Surely that's worthy of consideration. Doling out political favors here, I don't know. I do not wish to give you offense, but I must tell you I stand with the Second Promise. His innovations will improve every aspect of our lives, I believe, including farming, and I'll no longer have need of hatchets. This, I actually... Again, I 1000% buy. I mean... we don't know enough about Kona yet, but Kona really doesn't seem that much worse than... Kona seems pretty comparable to Urqopacha in terms of being on not the baddies. I assure you, I have nothing but respect for Urqopacha. That's why I'm prepared to purchase a spare hatchet at a fair price. Yeah, it's just a spare thing. But not worth it for us, probably. How about this, then? If we were to help bring in your harvest, would you give us a better deal? Well, as a matter of fact, I would. Until Kona's reforms come about, I can always use more hands in the field. Then you can go ahead and add our labor to the bargain. Why, she freaked out. Oh, and she's not. She's just like, why didn't I think of this? Adding value to tip the scales? How could I have forgotten one of the most basic rules of trading? You can rest here if you like, Mablu. Kukushu and I have mate to gather. I'm looking this up because mate's got to be a real thing if it is a thing. A plant species, yerba mate, a plant species of the holly genus Ilex, native to South America. Both the plant and the beverage contain caffeine. Okay. Well, that explains it. So it looks like, yeah, mate. And she's with us. Off to the fields then, and mind you pick the healthy leaves. I'll take 5 good bundles from each of you. This I can do. Branch of verdant mate leaves. What are these? Sizable pile of freshly harvested mate leaves. Okay. Take your verdant mate leaves. An acceptable harvest. We'll see how your companions fared before I make any decisions. Alright, everyone came with their own share. Don't screw us. Thank you, Third Promise. This is more than enough to hold up your end of the bargain. Now it's time to honor mine. After adding the value of your labor to the price of the hatchet, prepare to offer you a full sack of our highest grade mate leaves. Premium mate! Bought at the shop, one sack of those leaves would cost no less than 5 pel in the thousands column. Pretty good deal. Farewell to the hatchet. I'll give it a good home. Talk of the contest aside, I'm glad we could come to a mutually agreeable trade. As am I. All the best with the rest of your harvest. And Urqopacha is not one to hold any sort of grudge for someone who doesn't support her. So is there someone that will process these leaves? Mablu, what's wrong? It's as I was saying before. Even after everything Tobli's done for me, I'm planning to abandon it all and become a merchant. But then I needed your help after forgetting a basic rule of trade. How could I expect Tobli to accept my decision then? You made a single mistake. You're fine. Yeah, you intend to give up then? I actually should have probably asked the first one, like, if she's told him about planning to leave. I can't! After getting a taste of real trading, I want to be a merchant more than ever. I know for people who like that sort of thing, there's a certain thrill to it. Then you'll just have to be honest. I seek to follow in my father's footsteps, but not because he expects it of me. I want to preserve Tural's peace and become Dawn Servant, and becoming Dawn Servant happens to be the best way to do it. You should live a life of your own choosing. I wouldn't be surprised if Tobli held the same opinion. So talk to him. You know, you're right. It's better to find out for sure than worry over what he might say. Thanks for the advice. The little bottom tooth smile. But first, we have a saddle to buy. I want that success under my belt so I can be sure of my decision. This is a good test. This is a good practice for her. All right, so how do we do this? I think we're close enough. I say we go straight for the premium mezcal. Bargain our way in to double the value, eh? I think you can do it? Trust me, I will make this trade work. I admire you, Third Promise. That you're holding your own against such strong competition for the throne is inspiring. Am I really holding my own against Kona and Zoraal Ja? Poor cat. I mean, of course I am. I am Urqopacha of the Dawn's Promise, after all. And that doubt is not a surprise. Like, we've seen that. This isn't the first time we've seen that. That's a recurring concern for her. And I mean that in a good way. I mean that, like, it should be a recurring concern. You don't want to throw it out of nowhere, and it's good storytelling. That's going to be it for me for now. Thanks for watching. This was a nice introduction to the zone of Urqopacha. I love the flavor of it, the visuals, the color, and the alpacas most of all. So, yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time. If you enjoyed this, leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more. Bye-bye.